Hey all, it's Jan of the Jan Files. This is a quick mea culpa about some things I got wrong about FAFSA. My process, just so you know, has been to read sections. I started with a House bill, and then when Senate bill, passed, I went to the Senate bill, and then finally we are now at the enrolled bill. So what I did was obviously I read, and then if I had questions, I put it through AI and I asked for comparisons between bills and also between what was and what is going to be going forward. I relied on AI for those comparisons and some of that information on the enroll bill, and that was a mistake. Uh, and not it wasn't once, it wasn't twice, it was probably three or four times they got it completely wrong. And so I've decided to, pretty much eliminate that and start going back to the good old days of, hard copies and research. And anyway, so what I wanted to do was just straighten out a couple things about FAFSA that I had said differently on. So one, Pell Grants still exist. The one thing that has changed is if your SAI, Student Aid Index, is too high, you're not going to get a Pell Grant. And also, parent loans still exist, but they're capped. They're capped at $20,000 a year and an aggregate total of $65,000 a year. There's no graduate student plus loans. There are other loans for graduate, but there are no student plus loans. There is an excise tax. Now, I gather this excise tax has been in place for private institutions, but now instead of being 1.4%, it can go up to 8%, which could be chilling to smaller institutions. The other thing they've done is what I consider still the most bizarre thing I've seen is, well, not in life, but in the bill, institutional accountability. So it creates a new accountability measure that would cause a program to lose direct loan eligibility if it fails the low earnings outcomes measure 2 out of 3 years. So what does that mean? Well, for undergraduate program, compares the median earnings of graduates 4 years after program completion with the earnings of working adults with only a high school degree or GED who are not enrolled in higher education. Warnings to students must be provided if a program fails the low earnings outcomes measure. Well, they're not just saying, okay, here, we're going to warn you that you may not make a lot of money. They're saying that they're prepared to take away loans for these people. So, this whole thing doesn't make any sense to me, and it stinks. It's, trying to force people maybe into different kinds of decisions based on economics versus passion versus, desire to learn. We have a long life, right? And so we have the ability to make these decisions and take the consequences of them. I think that is what an adult means, right? So anyway, that's kind of the overview of FAFSA. There are lots of changes to loan forgiveness and the different loan programs in place. They still are going to have a loan program based on income. So not everything, like I said, what was in the House bill was like blowing everything up, but when it got through the Senate and they finally came together, it was far more reasonable and far less panicking for people like me who have children of college age. So stay with me here. I am going to do better. The facts are incredibly important to me. And so I apologize for getting some of the FAFSA things confused, but I will do better. Please subscribe and look forward to my next episode, which will cover probably a couple topics. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.